Morning, evening, good night, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is here. Steven and I are going to be going over Kokomi today. Steven, how do you feel about that one? Steven, now I know a lot of people are saying a lot of things about Kokomi. I'm going to do this video, and then there's going to be another one tonight as well, which will be the build guide. Now that she's out, you know, we'll mess around with her for a little bit. Is she working out the way that we all thought that she could work out? Yes, but we're going to go over a couple of different things team-wise that you can utilize with her. If you're a brand new player, you want her anyway, she looks pretty. All that cool stuff, we're touching on that one in this video. And as always, guys, you want to see more content, hit that subscription button, like button as well, and let's get into it. Now, first things first, we've already ran all the numbers. The numbers are the same as we thought before she was officially released. Now we get to mess around with her, show you guys combat stuff, show you guys how some of the mechanics work for her as well. Very important stuff there. And thankfully, they actually put one of our best partners, Xingling, in the trial, so we can show you how these two characters interact, which is awesome. But she does have some cool aspects of her kit that we need to talk about here. Now, the first one we're going to be talking about here is going to be her first Ascension, the casket here. Now, this is going to refresh the duration of your elemental skill when you cast your elemental burst. A lot of people might be saying, but she gets a damage bonus from her elemental burst when she uses her elemental skill, right? That supplies bonus HP damage to your normal charged attacks as well as your elemental skill as well. Here's the first thing about that. You can test this one out for yourselves here, and well, check this out. It does not snapshot your HP percent damage bonus. So you set it out there and it's gonna hit for 1831 damage. So 1831 damage. You pop your elemental burst and you can see it go right up to 4,705, which means she's gonna be pretty good at applying Hydro, right? Because the elemental skill here is gonna last 12 seconds, and if you refresh the duration, you can get it up to, you know, 21, 22, 23 seconds there, and that's gonna be awesome because the cooldown on your elemental burst is 18 seconds. So between the 20-second cooldown on your elemental skill and the 18-second cooldown on your elemental burst, you can have your little jellyfish out there roaming around doing some damage for you 100% of the time. Now, there is one little sad thing here about this though, is that it doesn't reposition your little jellyfish guy. It does have decent range, but you'll only be able to reposition it with the actual cast of the elemental skill. So we'll place him here, run over here, and you're gonna see that he just kind of chills out over there anyway. So numbers, if you're a brand new player just getting into Genshin Impact, you don't have a lot of the crazy endgame gear with crit chance, crit damage, all this cool stuff on there, she can actually do some pretty okay damage. What I mean by okay damage, you're gonna look at like, you know, 20, 30k damage, maybe if you get some really good substat rolls. We'll go into gear more in the real gear guide video, but for you guys, healing bonus, circlet, go ahead with a damage bonus. So in this case, a hydro damage bonus goblet and an HP percent sands, and for substats, you're gonna look for HP percent, energy recharge, and some elemental mastery on top of that if you're gonna be doing some reverse vaporize with your character as well, which we're gonna talk about right now. One of the best parts about this character, if you are brand new and you're using Xingling in there as well, they're actually pretty good together. So if you like this character aesthetically, you need a healer, you don't want to level up Barber or anything like that, you can use Kokomi instead because she is good at applying Hydro. And Xingling is actually one of the only Pyro characters that can apply Pyro while off the field. So you can use them in tandem with each other, which is pretty powerful. So in this case, say you have, you want to go ahead and vaporize Guoba. You can throw down the little jellyfish, throw down Guoba, and then just have them work with each other in tandem. Vaporize, vaporize, vaporize. By the same notion, you go ahead and do this as well, and then you can come in here with your charge attack and reverse vaporize, and you can see, you know, 22,000 damage. It's okay, big okay. You know, you're either going to reverse vaporize here or go ahead with the good old true vaporize, depending on which order you do them in. You can do them in whatever order that is that you desire. So we can throw this back out here and get a little bit of damage. Vaporize, vaporize, vaporize. Of course, it'll be better with real gear to the Xinglings on Dragon's Bane, right? Some decent artifacts, but nothing super crazy here. 1,390 attack, okay? So nothing super crazy there, but they are very good together, and you can utilize them to do a lot of cool stuff in either combination that you want to. So if you want to maximize your Pyronado damage, you can go ahead and throw out the little jellyfish guy and then Pyronado and have that do wonderful damage for you there. And then afterwards, you can throw Guoba out and maximize your Kokomi damage time on top of that. So now we throw Guoba down, get smacked around. Thank you so much. And now we can go ahead and just reverse vaporize these guys. Guoba's gone now, sadly. Poor Guoba. Now, out of the weapons for her for Kokomi, the first one I'm going to be going over is the prototype Amber. There's only a couple weapons you want to really think about. This one's going to be standing out for two reasons. HP percent substat, has a good amount of it, that's awesome. And then the ability on it to increase your healing potential is good there as well. But most importantly, it's the elemental burst energy that you're going to get back when you elemental burst. If you have refinements for this, which is a crafted weapon, you can get up to 18 energy back. And that's very important because your burst costs 70 and it's on a relatively, not the shortest in the world, but not the longest, 18-second cooldown with that duration of it. So you kind of want that up there as much as possible. So if you're working on getting energy recharge stat and your substats having a hard time, look for this weapon to really help you out there. Now the other weapon to really think about here is going to be the 3-star weapon. This is the most supportive weapon type, and this is going to be the Thrilling Tales of the Dragon Slayer. Now this is going to give you slightly less HP percent as a substat, slightly less base stack, although the base stack doesn't really matter that much for this character. But it also is going to give you this very nice supporting option where when you swap into another character from Kokomi, you're going to get up to a 48% attack buff for that character for 10 seconds. So like we were doing Kokomi and Xingling, if we were doing it right, we could swap into Xingling, give her that 48% attack buff, and then Guoba and our good old Elemental Burst can snapshot that and do a large amount of damage, especially that Elemental Burst is going to do amazing stuff with something like this on our Kokomi. Now we will briefly touch on this one as well. This is the new 5-star weapon. If you want to compare this to the 2 weapons we just talked about, it's going to be about 10 to maybe 12% damage increase depending on the quality of your artifacts. And is that really worth it for a character like Kokomi who doesn't really need that much more damage? And we're talking 10 to maybe 12% more at maximum for such a unique niche catalyst. At this moment, I would have to say hard pass on this. So Kokomi, man, I'm going to stand still to a reason that she's very good for new players, especially because she works so well with Xingling and their little whole reverse vaporize sort of connection there. That's going to be fantastic. For older players, you might not really need her, like we've been saying all the way around. Is she a bad character? She's definitely very whelming, but not really. I don't want to call her terrible. I don't think I've ever called a character terrible before. I've said that there's characters that have other characters that do what they do. Kokomi kind of feels like a 4-star character, but is a 5-star instead for some reason. She's got some pluses, she's got a lot of minuses, and take that for what you will, guys. She's kind of cool, but at the same time, a lot of players are not going to need a character like Kokomi. If you guys do want her, I hope you get her. So bad, good, terrible, what is she? I will say Kokomi is a very whelming character for the vast majority of the player base for Genshin Impact. She can be very pivotal and very strong for new players starting out, putting together their first team, right? Some sort of healer there. You don't have access to Bennett or, Constellation 6, Noelle, and all this wacky stuff. Very easy to build, very simple to use, works with one of the best characters in the game, especially if you're a free player, because you get her Xingling, and they're a very powerful character. One of the best teams in the game uses Xingling. You can sort of put Kokomi in that national team as well because they work so well together. So that's going to be a big plus if you're just now establishing an account. Maybe you're making a second account or something like that, and you're learning how to play Genshin. Outside of that, a lot of you guys out there have already kind of filled up your accounts. Is she like a game-breaking character that you have to have? Definitely far from that, and probably going to be a hard pass for you unless you really like how she works and looks aesthetic wise. Now, if you guys want to see more stuff, want the full-on guide, check the channel out as well. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one.